Okay, so I am recording this just because I figured there's a part that I missed in there, um, in the setup here, and it's taking it from your PC database over to the MySQL database hanging out on your Arma 3 server when you're going to be setting up the event log to be tracking the kill events. Um, and so when I'm in my database, like I hit manage session or whatever down here, right? And we select manage instance. Sorry, you make sure that it's running. That always helps, right? And it's gonna pop up and ask you if you want to be an ad or use your admin status to start the service, and you gotta say yes. And then I'll just stop it here, right, like that. It will do the same thing. Only I'm telling it to stop, and I aborted that, so it's still running. But once you have that running, you get the database password put in or the admin on your computer set up. Then you grab the manage instance option out of there from your taskbar. And that's how you get to this. Let's see here. I don't want the viewer showing in the background. So from there, you go into your test database that you had set up already, and then you go into your tables and you select the kill log table or whatever that you've created. You might have or renamed your stuff if you wanted. Otherwise, you might have followed along exactly for what we did. In the kill log here, I right click and you get all sorts of stuff you can do, like the table inspector. You can export to the wizards, etc. So when I went to mine, I just actually got the info, and then I went over to like the info button is a little I button, and you just mouse over there, and I just scroll across. The DLL is where it's all hanging out at. Some of these options in here won't always work. And that's really important to remember. You set this up. You installed MySQL Workbench, installed a service set, and it's going to have millions of different features and options. And if you go over to the website, it's really overwhelming to read about MySQL. And I've been a database administrator for, I don't even know. And like, so I can kind of like sort through and decide which topics and everything else I'm looking for. And I know keywords to search for. And it's still a pain to learn a new database system like MySQL versus doing your whatever, your Oracle, DBI, etc. I mean, the philosophy and the theory is the same, and it makes it easier each time you learn a new language. Just like after you learn English as a kid, you want to keep learning like French or Japanese or something, and it just keep learning more and more because you understand the system of learning those languages at that point. The same thing in database tech or any other tech field, but databases tend to have their own little stuff that go on that people make lots of assumptions about that don't always turn out to be true. But anyways, so I use Host Havoc. On Host Havoc, they have a My PHP Admin section that you just click. It pops it open. You don't have to do a password. It gives you your default database name. You click in here. You can create a table if you want by hand and type it out. Or we copied the DLL section from the kill log onto the table that we wanted and out of the database that we had created previously. And then we just want to query. So I click queries. There's no tables found in the database, so we can't query against them. There is a way. I just got to figure out how to do it. And we'll write SQL instead. Query must have been separate language or a special subset. And so SQL query is what I was expecting it to be phrased as. Once again, this is my first time doing this stuff too, so I'm recording it so I can go back in there and helps me get stuff done too. Like I go back like a month later and some of this more in-depth logic, I'm just like, yeah. Says here unknown collation. I honestly can't remember what it means, but just from reading it, it looks like UTF is your one of your your text formats that people use, which it makes sense. It's a big deal. So I either needed, like, I can't drop the parenthesis there, but I need to drop this line I'm going to leave the ELDB. I'm going to leave the default. I'm just going to chop off the one part it's complaining about, see what happens here. And it says it succeeded. And it made me a table, it looks like. Let's click in there and see what else it says. Got some columns. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. I don't know if current timestamp will work because, like we said, this is technically, even though it's MySQL also running through the MyPHP Admin instead of the workbench, the MyPHP Admin is an online version of Workbench, if I didn't say that already, by the way. So I don't know if current timestamp is going to work. So the next thing I need to do is I need to take a working SQL query that I did before and run it against the MyPHP admin to see if the insert works and puts the current data timestamp in there for us. I think I should pause the recording until this thing starts up. Oh, where's the pause button? Yeah, we'll let her roll and just trim it later, I guess. That's actually pretty fast. So I'm going into my... I don't need add-ons. I need the folder which I generated everything from. And exec insert does not have it. Format insert. There we go. Switch back over to the MyPHP admin. Let's try a query now and see if the query option now works. Oh, there's an insert actually. There we go. Well, that's kind of cool. It's got everything there for me. What if I want to, instead of having them generate the query for me, what if I just want to stick one in there, huh? This looks like the right spot. Got some extra in there. I don't know what that is. What did it just do to my values? I don't have an error in my SQL. It was perfect. Yeah. I'm just gonna run it and say go. Success. Now let's check and see if the time column filled in like we wanted it to. To do this, we want a select all query or whatever. I mean, we can use one because there's only one table in there. But we can also click select all there, it looks like. I'm just going to hit go. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. And it's got a timestamp there of 9/9. Looks like 10:56, so its time zone is off by 1 from where I'm at, so they're probably in Chicago or something. But that's legit. That's all I needed to be afraid or be sure of to make sure that this is going to increment for us. There's really not many other moving parts to this section. We will continue the rest later if I figure out there's anything else we need to do, but this will be up soon.